Hello and welcome to the Target Transfers podcast, the #1 heat printing podcast in the world. And today we're going to be talking about all things wholesale, how to get the best blanks for your business and the easiest way to get hold of them. So we're really delighted to be joined by Ralawise today because they are the leading UK wholesale and supplier for blanks, and they've got a fantastic range, and they're a company that we've worked with quite a lot over the years. And we know that our heat presses and our heat transfers and all our heat transfer vinyl work phenomenally well with these products. But one of the reasons we're really delighted to have them on board for the podcast today is that one of the #1 niggles I have when I'm speaking to customers is that we normally just say, if someone comes in to do a masterclass here, we talk about how to grow their business, how to best apply onto garments, but then they say, okay, where do I get my garments from? And I always say, just go to Ralawise, which is helpful to a point. But one of the things that myself and Molly are really conscious about is really providing value with this podcast, so that today we're really delighted to have Ralawise on, so we can actually get into a bit more detail about how to actually order your products. So it's not just a case of go to Ralawise, you've got a nice friendly faces to know there, and you've got a bit more detail about how to get stuck in so you don't just kind of get lost in the first hurdle. So thank you very much. We're joined by Kat and Simon from Ralawise. So thanks very much for joining us today. Really appreciate you coming along.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So just after giving you a very tiny little intro there, but I'd love to hear in your own words, for our customers who might never have used Ralawise before, can you tell us a little bit more about the history of Ralawise and the service that you can provide for UK and European decorators?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, we're a trade-only company. And fundamentally, we sell the blank garments or the blank accessories that you'd need for the personalization market. And we also sell the printable media as well. So be it garments or between the two of us, the means to decorate the garment, we've got you covered. We're the UK's market leading clothing distributor, and we offer in excess of 4,500 products and styles, and that's covering over 120 brands. So loads of choice.
And although we are the largest, we are a family-run business still that work with customers of all sizes, and we really thrive on getting new customers on their clothing decoration journey. And our key focus is really our support, service, stock, innovation, and inspiration.
Love it. How long have you, as Ralawise, been providing blanks for customers? It's been quite a while now, hasn't it?
So it goes all the way back to the 80s. So we're a family-run business, and we literally started on a kitchen table at home, and the business got going printing souvenirs for the local tourism and gift market.
Oh,
as we expanded, the company got the opportunity to wholesale garments, and that was through a brand that was known as Jerseys at the time. That's now known as Russell.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, we got the distribution for Fruit of the Loom as well, and the business just took off from there.
That's really fascinating, because that's more or less exactly the same time that we started here in Target Transfers. It's almost like there's kind of like the same ideas of how to help the UK market kind of just happen to appear two opposite areas of the country. But it seems to be, there must have been like a real moment in the 80s where everyone was like, okay, a bit like it's been over the last couple of years, really, like, okay, we need to really help the garment industry, and actually this service isn't quite there. What can we do to improve? I know that we've made a lot of improvements. I can see from your own side, you've made a lot of improvements about how you can deal with customers as well. So one of the things that our customers ask quite a lot is, how to pick the right company to find blank garments for us. So I was wondering, what would be the benefits of using Ralawise in particular as a supplier for themselves?
So we've got the widest choice of products and brands, and that's also backed by really good stock inventories. This can all be seen on our website as well. So for anybody who doesn't know us, you can view our website, www.ralawise.com. And the stock that we do hold here as well, we deliver that 1 to 2 days. So it's really easy to get the stock out there as well.
I mean, well, I've not had the opportunity to visit Ralawise yet, unfortunately. I'm sure we'll rectify that at some point soon. But I've heard it's almost like its own town. They've literally they've got a lot of stock. They literally mean like it's like a whole, literally like, I don't know how many thousand square meters of space you have up there, isn't it?
We do like to call it Rala Village.
It is like a little village. Yeah, and we're constantly trying to keep the sheds full, and invariably we'll have the odd out of stock, of course, but stock is key for us.
Yeah.
And that's a kind of something you just mentioned there was something that I'd like to just clarify for everyone who's listening. So if you've never ordered blanks before, when someone like Ralawise talks about a shed, do you mean literally like a warehouse? I think it's like a kind of they say a shed, it's a very modest term because the room is giant. They don't make sheds that big, I don't think, really, do they?
No, not anymore. It's quite a glamorous shed, yeah. So it's a bit of a warehouse lingo, I suppose. But yeah, we see the footprint of the place to be worked hard. We want to fill it as efficiently as we can. And like I say, for our customers, having stock is the key thing. It's all good having loads of brands and loads of products, but if you've not got them in stock for customers to buy, it's kind of a bit of a false way of thinking. So stock is an obsession of ours.
Oh, that's really good to hear, because we were talking with Darren from Squeezed Orange, who I think gets a lot of his BYOB t-shirts from you guys. And I noticed that he's featured on your Instagram a bit, but he was talking about how he's been really struggling to get certain products in stock-wise in their wait list for like a month or two for some things. So yeah, to know, especially for our customers, that level of stock is there, because once you find your favorite garment, you don't want to have to then like trial more and then wait for some, and yeah, it can be a whole thing. So that's really good to hear.
Yeah. In terms of supporting our customers as well, we're kind of readily on hand and available to help people. So we've got really experienced sales teams. We've got a really wonderful array of marketing services on the website as well. So we've got a marketing hub. And we've also just launched our new digital lounge, and that's fantastic, especially for new customers who need things like, they can design their own templates for emails and leaflets. There's a whole image bank on there. So there's loads of stuff that we can do to actually support customers too, as well as having the product. We offer the support.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, because if no one's ever used the marketing hub with Ralawise, it's a fantastic resource to have, because there's literally probably for every single item, there's probably about 5-6 photos and a video. So you can really mock up those designs and kind of actually test the water a little bit, see how your customers react, what do they feel about this design before you actually go ahead and get that first stock order in. You can actually really make some informed decisions about it from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Can do that on their social media and download images, post it on there and do polls and stuff. So
I think the email thing that you mentioned is really good as well, because a lot of people I think struggle with that side of the business sometimes. They can post pictures on Instagram and things like that, but when it comes to the more technical side of marketing or putting an email together, it's what do customers want to see, what shall I include, what's too much, what's too little, and so that's really helpful for a lot of people.
It's that you've touched on it yourselves. When you're starting a business, you're busy, you're trying to get orders, you get an order, where do you buy the garments from, how quickly can you guys produce the transfers? So we sort of see, certainly for newer businesses and some more established as well, being the marketing arm, being the ideas arm, being the PR arm, and if we can help our customers to promote their business and their products, what's good for them is good for us. So we feel like we're in it with them. It's not just a transaction for us, it's more of a relational sale.
I think it's really helpful as well just to put serving suggestions out. Even though obviously you're putting the serving suggestion out for your customer, but your customer's customer should also be doing the same thing as well. Sometimes you find, especially for anyone that's doing the fulfillment side of things, actually taking examples, even if that customer then oh, I don't like that, it's terrible, it normally triggers the thought process of them to realize what they actually do want from something. So they might be, actually, I like that, but can I have it in red with white writing instead? And it kind of starts to get their cogs going, rather than just okay, here's a big catalogue. You can get pretty much anything you ever need blank-wise, but actually taking a few key examples, we think, they might like one of these, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, that's nice, but can I have it with a different collar or something like that, or a different hood on that hoodie? It normally makes the actual whole sales process a lot easier by having access to all these different key bits and pieces. So one thing, before we kind of get started, we've got loads and loads of questions for you today, and a lot of our customers have been emailing us ahead of time with these questions too. But I'd like to just have a quick intro about yourself. I realise we kind of got stuck in because we're really excited to get on with the podcast today. But could you just give a quick overview of yourselves and how, because you're both part of the internal sales team, which is the key contacts for anyone that's looking to get started or grow or find new blank supplies for themselves?
Do you want to start?
I'll go first. So if you didn't catch it at the beginning, my name's Simon Warren. I've been with Ralawise just over 15 years now. So man and boy. Didn't know anything really about fashion or textiles before I joined the company. I came from a .com and a financial background, and I was just on a 3-month temporary contract. Anyway, long story short, people heard me making phone calls and, so I had a bit of, like to chat to people. And I've never got out. So for me, I completely fell into it by accident. I love the business. I love the industry. I love our customers. I love the innovation, our partners. So yeah, there's never a dull moment. You're never bored. The years fly by like that. So I think it's a great industry to be in, and for people that are creative and artistic and also business minded as well, it's a fantastic opportunity to work for yourself, develop a business, grow a business, and hopefully, keep riding the way for years to come.
That was nice. So I kind of started Ralawise 10 years ago. I actually came out of university with a degree in photography. So obviously with Simon saying this is a great industry for creative people, when I finished my degree, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to pursue a career in photography in the end. But I knew, again, I was good at talking to people and just loved meeting new people. So I actually started with Ralawise in field sales. So I used to go out, meet customers. There's possibly people who will watch this that I've gone out to see, and that's kind of where my journey began. After a couple of years of doing that, I moved into head office and started with Simon's team, key account management, that kind of thing. And now I look after our new customers. So any new applications, anybody who's just started with us, it'll generally be me or my team that you'll speak with first on the phones, and we'll get you up and running. So yeah, it's been really exciting, and I'm really enjoying kind of this new customer side now as well. It's been great.
And for anyone, because I don't know about yourselves, but for us over the last couple of years, we've seen probably more new people start clothing brands than at any point since I've been at Target Transfers. But obviously, that means that people are coming in from outside of the industry and they've got no idea where to get started sometimes.
Yeah.
What are for someone who might be a bit daunted or like a bit unsure about how to start the whole process of buying blanks, would you mind sharing with us a couple of questions about what the sort of common questions that people might ask when they phone you up, in case that could be helpful to someone that's listening that's never ordered before but is thinking about picking up that phone after listening today?
Yeah, I mean, some of the main questions we get are things like, I'm not a registered business. Does that matter? And no, it doesn't. So we don't ask people to be limited or, VAT registered or anything like that. We ask for something as simple as a social media page for your brand or for your company. So if you run your business on Instagram as, and it started out as a hobby, but you've got some posts on there, that kind of thing, perfect. We can work with that. So that's something that we do get asked a lot.
I've got a confession as well. We're secret product nerds. Well, it's not. We're product nerds.
Yeah.
So we probably carry 75 to 80 different T-shirts, and they'll all come in black, white, navy, and some of them coming up to 100 colours. One of the things that a new customer can feel is they look at just our T-shirts on our web shop, and they think, crikey, there's so many different ones. What's the difference? What cuts, what fits, what styles, fabric types? And again, just for a particularly new customer or even an existing customer, we're always happy to talk about products. So if someone wants to call up or email us and say, I'm trying to sell a fashion T-shirt to a retailer and they're asking me for oversize and they want nice feel cotton and I want to put a nice transfer on it and the transfer needs to go over the side as well. So I need something without a seam or whatever it is, we will come up with a couple of options at least, and we'll be able to tell you why they're the best recommendations. T-shirts, hoodies, jacket, I won't go on, but we're product nerds and we're keen to share that with customers to help them make their business work as well.
We'll have to do another episode on that, and you can actually have the T-shirts, show us, talk to them, because there's a lot of we get a lot of questions about which product do you recommend for this, can you apply transfers to this, and which styles, and there's so many options.
We can definitely help with that.
Absolutely.
I think as well, like probably another question that we do get asked is about, you know, am I big enough? Am I going to spend enough? All those kinds of questions. And again, for us, we started out as that small family run business. So we've been on that journey and we get it. And for us, there's no snobbery about, you know, if you're in totally new business and you're a one-man band, we still want to work with you. We want to help you. And there's no kind of minimum spend requirement or anything like that. We just want to help you get going. So definitely give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some plans to do lots of videos with Ralawise in the future. We're going to really allow someone to get into nerdy detail, because we know that everyone that listens loves that nerdy detail anyway. It's true. It's what me and Molly talk about.
I want to know. I don't have enough knowledge. I want to expand my knowledge as well, because when we're creating different sort of collections or videos and things like that, we need to be able to sort of direct someone straight away to what they want or pass them on to you guys. So yeah, definitely get that in the diary.
Yeah, so anyone never ordered, you can literally order a t-shirt, can't you? That's the great thing. So if you really want to test something, put it through its paces, you can just order one. It's not a kind of a big monetary output that way. You can really kind of keep it super simple. Like you could literally spend £3 on a t-shirt and get a couple of transfers and just abuse that t-shirt and find out every sort of part of it. We always say here when people first start, you've got to try and break things, because then you find the limits of what you can actually achieve, and you normally find you can go a lot further than those sort of perceived limits you think might exist there. So it's really good.
And the best way to sell a product is trying it yourself, right, and wearing it. So yeah.
Try it, wash it, wear it. Try it, wash it, wear it.
Yeah, 100%.
I do. I mean, we both do steal some of the t-shirts that we get sort of bought in and that we have left over, and we've fused new designs on and stuff like that. And you definitely learn which ones are your favorite when you actually wear them and wash them day to day yourself, like our P&P t-shirts, our podcast t-shirts, all things like that. When you actually wear them, you go, oh, this is my favorite one, or I like the way this fits, and it's having that understanding rather than just it's made of X, Y, Z and all of that.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things we're really wanted to talk to you about, like much on the topic of like first questions, how to get started, but we're obviously lucky. A few months ago, we were lucky. I mean, it's almost 4 months away now, I think. But it was promotion was recently. So I imagine for both of you, where you're kind of so used to speaking to customers every day and seeing them quite often as well, it must have been quite nice to actually get out and about. So I was wondering what the biggest products you had at the show for this year that people should still be thinking about for moving into the autumn, September, October, and November as well this year.
So, I mean, for us, September's, we see a lot of new products coming to life, and hoodies, obviously massive for us, sweatshirts, that kind of thing. Also, something that we think we're going to see a lot more of is the technical jackets, weather resistance, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Another industry that goes massive for us going into autumn, winter is that kind of personalised gifts market for Christmas. Yeah. It always goes crazy.
Yeah.
Sustainability as well.
Yeah, there's been a growing interest and take up of sustainable and organic products over the last few years as well, and we see no reason to think that's going to stop anytime soon. So for us, when we look at the sectors that do spike in Q3, Q4, or I shouldn't use such business lingo, in the run up to Black Friday and Christmas.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to see what organic and sustainable sales happen, because whilst we sell a whole range of products, it's always good to sell. It's always a good feeling to sell a sustainable and organic product over anything else. So
yeah, 100% agree. I think that's something we're seeing a lot with the transfers that are being ordered at the moment. Would definitely reflect that. We're seeing a lot of, especially like say the technical stuff coming through. We're seeing a lot of personalization picking up as well, as we've just got this new Ultra Color Max product, which is a direct to film transfer, but you can order one of it. You get this giant sheet where you can put as many as you want on it. But what we find is a lot of people are starting to just they might have sheets of like 60, 70 initials, because that's what they're starting to get ready for Christmas, putting people's names on stockings or just a little initial on a shirt, something like that. We're seeing it's already started to kick in. So if anyone's listening and not prepared, it's like actually they need to. August is already too late in some ways, but everything you did now, so you really got to get stuck in and get started on that already.
Sorry. Go on. Also with things like thinking about autumn, winter as well, your energy prices, that kind of thing going up. Something that we are seeing a little bit of more of an interest in is like your layering products. Again, it's just something that we're seeing kind of increasing, and people are bearing it in mind. So we've got some really exciting additions coming in for September, for some like really comfortable, warm products, and they're suitable for layering as well. So it's worth just watching the space for that.
Okay, that's interesting. That's something quite a lot about with our customers as well. Because we have one of our transfer products, it fuses at 120 degrees. So we're finding quite a lot of people actually moving, even if it's single color transfer stuff, are buying the ultra color, because actually your heat press is going to draw less electricity that way, and actually going to cut down, because every little penny's helping at the moment. So I think that we might have to do a joint event with that. Some of those products when they come out, I think. So obviously we've talked a little bit about people starting their business and how to get started, and we'll, over the coming months and years, we'll carry on trying to knock those preconceived notions of how difficult it is to get started. Because it's really, really easy, because all you literally need is a blank t-shirt, a heat press, and some heat transfers, and that's it. We always say when people come in here that actually, and I'm sure it's probably true of yourselves, is that we like to make life simple, because really where you add value to your business is doing sales and marketing yourself. It's not spending hours upon hours going through your website. That's why it's best to speak to someone like yourselves, because you're like, actually, this is what's popular. This is what fits within your brand the best. Okay, brilliant, thanks. I'll move on to that. But I also wanted to touch upon something for established printers, because obviously a lot of our listeners are, people have been doing it for a couple of years, maybe even 10, 20 years. But one of the things I wanted that they might be using the same product for the last 10 years. It's the same hoodie every year, the same sweatshirt every year. But is there any particular products that you've seen that have come out over the last couple of years? You're like, actually, you need to be thinking about this product. If you're not using this product and you're in a printer already, you're missing out.
I think the key one we've touched on already is that organic sale. And we've got a huge range of organic and sustainable products. So within cotton-based products, there's organic cotton. And within polyester products, so be it soft shell or be it a sweatshirt or hoodie, the polyester element is recycled as well. And that the brands that we distribute are growing their collections. So there's more product, more choice, but also you've got the customer, the end user, they're asking for that now, particularly, and even in workwear, it's not just fashion anymore, it's workwear and uniform as well. So I think for us, there's a whole message and piece there, which is there's still some customers of ours that aren't quite tapping into that yet. And actually, I think even if they're not telling their customers about it, their customers will want to hear about it, or maybe talking to other decorators that'll be providing that info. So I'd encourage everyone to get stuck into organic and sustainable. And if in doubt, give us a call and we'll talk you through it on the phone, or we'll come and show product and do visits and train your teams on it as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Cause something I noticed when we were at the show at Promotion, because obviously we can see pretty much the whole range to a point, is that actually it's not just the fact that it's the organic stuff is obviously very popular, but it's actually the quality of the organic products is now got to a point where before you might 3 or 4 years ago, there's a lot of beige and brown. Like, okay, well, if people want to be socially conscious,
beige is in fashion now.
But now there's like so much more vibrant. The colours are much more vibrant, and the look and the feel of the products is a lot softer, and it's the cuts are a lot nicer. So it's actually a lot more of you don't have to compromise on the actual design and product ideas that you might have to have a sustainable and organic brand that way, which I think is really, really important too.
Absolutely, and it's becoming more and more now. We'll get some new brands from or new products rather from brands we distribute, and you look at them, and if you didn't know they were organic, you'd want to wear them anyway. And then when you hear the eco credentials, it's like, wow, full set. The product's amazing. The credentials are very good. So it does. You're right. It stands on its own right now, as opposed to just its eco credentials, which is a great thing.
And if someone's never bought any eco-based products before. Is there something that they should look out for from a terminology point of view, or like, is it? I mean, I know with like, for instance, for us, when we sell our heat transfer vinyl, we do have things like Okotex approved and stickers like that we've got on the website. Is there anything that someone could look out for to spot the more eco-friendly products?
We've got on our website now, so on the Ralawise website, each of our sustainable products, whether it be organic, recycled, that kind of thing, there's like a little green logo on them. It's like green leaves, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's in the top corner of each product's image, so you can spot them really easily on the website. You've also got like the sustainable section, so you can filter it out. And then as you find the products that you like, you can then drill into the specifics. So what certifications has it got? They're all listed on each product page anyway, so it's really easy to find. But again, if they're not sure, if they're after something super specific, then again, they can just get in touch with us and we'll help them find the product they need.
And is the best way to get in touch just to ring up or fill in a form? How would the best way to actually start the process of getting in touch with yourselves?
If it's for, say, a new customer, when they land on our website, there's an option to basically click here to register, so they can fill out that registration form really quickly, and we'll then call them anyway. But if it's for kind of product advice or something like that, then they can give us a call, they can email us, they can fill out an inquiry form on the site as well and request a call back. So there's loads of different ways.
We tend to say, do you know what, have enthusiasm, are happy to chat. So be it literally on a phone call, on an email, on an email basis. A lot of our salespeople have a mobile phone as well, so we can do texts and WhatsApps. We also have a field sales team, so we can do visits. So we'll meet in whichever social space is best for you, and we'll converse and talk to you in that space.
Okay, brilliant. So that means obviously you're dotted quite around the country. A lot of your actual reps, so it means that literally you need someone to come and actually see you, speak to you. It's really, they kind of cover a few different counties each, I think, from recollection, I believe.
Yeah, we've got coverage across across Europe. So we've got coverage across the UK, and the guys are pretty. They tend to book their diaries about 2 weeks in advance at the most. And we're always happy to meet. Please don't think you've got to be doing £100,000 a day to get a visit. Everyone is a new customer at some stage.
Yeah.
And of course we'll observe COVID rules. If you're watching that at the moment, that's still a thing. And we'll make it COVID safe. But we're just happy to talk wherever people want to talk. So it could be at a Costa coffee shop. It could be in someone's workshop. It could be on a phone call. And there is a tangible, tactile element to our industry, isn't it? There's a touchy feeling, and particularly for transfers as well. The way it looks, the way it reflects light, the way it takes to the surface of the garment. So similar to you guys, we believe in that tactile element as well, and that touchy-feely product experience too.
And for those that are listening, that might be one of their first steps into starting a brand. Is there any kind of, obviously you don't have to give away the specifics of the company, but can you think of any examples of people that you've seen recently or over the last couple of years where they've started with that first initial phone call from nothing, and now they're coming back to you every week, getting more and more t-shirts, etc. That someone who's a kind of words of encouragement for someone who's thinking about getting started?
Yeah, so I mean, probably one that I kind of remember is like a gym brand. They came to us several years ago, one person with an idea. And from there, really, we kind of helped them find products that worked. They had the concept, we had the product, and it kind of just took off from there. So it literally just took that phone call for them to say, this is my idea. What can you provide to help me with that? We gave them, the leggings, the t-shirts, the jumpers, that kind of thing. And it literally just spiraled from there. They're massive on social media as well. So I think that was really important for them, having products that looked good on, socials as well, had the colour range and everything. So that was a really nice kind of success story. They're massive now.
It's one of the favourite bits of the business for me is meeting someone at a trade show or at an event, or just a phone call a year later, and you remember taking the initial call and passing them on to new business or talking to them yourself, and to see people make a success of it. It's one of my it's one of my favorite things about the job. You know, I'm absolutely delighted that we helped them on the way, and they chose to partner with us and with you guys.
It's really rewarding to see people kind of like grow and succeed. You know, it's nice.
Yeah, and I bet there's quite a few quite rewarding as well. Going touching on your point earlier, son, about the nerdy detail that you like to talk to your customers about. But I imagine one of the kind of small enjoyments is probably when people come back to you a year later and you phone you up and they start talking in that same language to you, because they're like, they've kind of really got into the dark, murky waters of garment decorating, and now they're talking about GSM and cuts and things like that to you.
It does. It moves rapidly, and one of the lovely things is quite often I'll be at printwear and I'll hear a voice or someone say, "Are you Simon?" Or, you know, "Cat will have it. Are you Cat?" It happens across the sales team, and you recognise the voice and suddenly say, "Are you Joe?" "Yeah," and you have that whole thing. And pretty quickly they're telling you what they've seen at the show, and I've been looking for this and I found that, and these guys are going to send me a sample, and and that whole journey and that whole enthusiasm. And it probably does start with a willingness on the customer's part. And then, you know, the willingness on the supplier's part as well. And that's where I'd say Ralawise is very different in that it's not just a transaction. It's not just another customer. It's not just an order. We want to hear what your vision, what your plans are, what your needs are, what equipment you do or don't have. And we want to help you get artwork onto garments and make a success of it with the likes of yourselves as well.
Is there any particular trends that you've noticed recently? Because one of the things that we see a lot at the moment is, for us, full color designs are kind of the absolute biggest thing that we see going through, not just on a kind of corporate level, but actually on the clothing brand level. But is that something that you've seen a lot, or is there any other trends that you think there might be that people should be looking out for over the next few months from a design point of view?
Well, I think not pigeonholing ourselves to winter. One of the evergreens at the moment is oversize. So that kind of kicked in during lockdown, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining for that, but that's oversize in either quite nice blacks or different shades of black or pastels at the opposite end as well. Sort of like what Molly's the color Molly's wearing and that sort of thing. Organic and sustainable. I hate to keep saying it, but that's that whole marketplace is only going to grow, and we've got a great product range for that. And then I'll let Kat get a few in as well before I steal all the easy ones.
I think really the thing that we get asked for a lot, and again this was kind of like a lockdown trend, is things like your full tracksuits, so your sweatshirts and joggers, or your hoodies and joggers. And there's some brands that have really kind of got onto that trend. And, you know, whereas it used to be just kind of grey, black and navy joggers, now we've got brands offering like pastel joggers, dip dye joggers, like really cool hoodies to match it, and again sustainable. So I think that trend seems to be continuing, and I think we'll probably see a lot more of that.
I would agree with that. Yeah, we had Bella Canvas in about a month or so ago, and one of the kind of the main things that people wanted us to work with them on was doing the sets. So they've got the full set. They've got t-shirts as well that go with it, and they're kind of really fantastic range of colours now. That and I think they've probably got even more coming out next year. I wouldn't be surprised. That's something that we've seen quite a lot, as you know, as things like hybrid working is kind of much more of a norm now, and doesn't really. I wouldn't expect that to change at any point in the future ever again. To be honest, so that's definitely something that's worth considering. Is actually, if you're providing workwear for a company, maybe where you're not normally just do standard polos and things like that, but actually offering them the kind of at-home stuff to supply onto their stuff might be a good option to have when you go and meet your customers over the coming months as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay, so we've almost at the end of the podcast today. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure this won't be the first, or won't be the last one we do, because there's lots of questions that we can cover, and there's lots of niche little areas that we can get into. So if anyone's listening and they've got questions for Ralawise, do go and fill that form in, or leave a comment from somewhere. Get in touch, because you met their friendly faces today. We've worked with them in the past, and they're very easy to work with, and I can attest from when we order our own blanks in for shows and things like that, they really do come. I don't think we have anything that's not come next day, even in the last couple of years. So it is a very quick turnaround and very easy to get started. Like I said earlier, we probably will do some more nerdier events, and when it comes to actually how to use the system and things like that in the future, and some live events that are well worth joining in as well. But the main thing is just to remember that it's really easy to get started. Now, a lot of the barriers to ordering anything to do with garment decorating have all gone. So, and you can, like as they mentioned earlier, you can just order one t-shirt to get started. So, you know, there's not really any excuse if you've got the ideas and you've got the designs. You can go back and watch some of our other videos about how to actually do the decorating part, and that's really easy as well. So one of the things I just wanted to finish up with is if either of yourselves have any questions for us, anything that we can help you with, anything that perhaps some of your customers that have joined us for the first time that you think that could be useful for them to know.
I think for me, it's kind of, what questions do you get asked the most about new customers setting up within the industry?
I guess the number one question probably for us is, which heat press should I buy? That's kind of the number one thing that people, they'll go and watch lots of videos, and there's a wealth of content across our channel and Styles TV, but actually decide, okay, how do I know which one to pick? And there's a couple of things to bear in mind. There's lots of functionality questions, which I could probably spend half an hour talking about. But ultimately, the number one thing is, what is the biggest design that you're going to be using? Because that will then dictate how big a heat press you need to be doing. So, I don't know, for example, if you're just going to be doing initial prints, don't buy a giant heat press, because it's not worth it. We would be mis-selling you on that one. So think about, what's the biggest thing I'm ever going to print on my tops. Then you know the size. There's normally 3 sizes of every machine. And the next one is actually, what functionality do I need? Everything that we sell, for instance, Hotronix has got phenomenal warranties on it. It's made in the US, so the build quality is fantastic. It's okay. It's first entry level. Heat press goes up, it goes down, nice and easy. Do you want to automatically go up and go for you when you're finished? Do you need it to be air powered, things like that? But that's probably one of the number one questions, actually, equipment. How do I know which one to buy? And the main thing is actually just its size, because the build quality is good on every heat press. And the next thing is probably, okay, I've got a design, what happens next? And actually, it's just a case of, for us, just go online and upload your artwork. We always tell customers that come in, it's like, can you order a card off Moonpig? And they're like, yeah. Okay, well, now you can order transfers, because it's just as easy. You just literally go on, pick a product. We have 3 different products, so it's really easy. So it's either 1 to 5 color, anything more than 3 colors probably actually is full color, ultra color, or if you just want 1, it's ultra color max. And then just upload as much artwork as you want. And you can put loads of artwork onto any particular layout, so you don't get charged extra for more images you have. And 2 days later, they come back to you. So you can literally, so we're recording and it's Wednesday today, so you could feasibly go on Wednesday morning, order your transfers, order your blanks, even order your heat press, and then on Friday afternoon, you can get started on your business. It's really that simple. Much like yourselves, you've made the ordering process very simple. We tried to do exactly the same thing, so that, as I said before, you can just concentrate on sales and marketing for your business, because that's the most important thing you can do.
I'll just jump back onto the size thing that you mentioned about the heat presses as well. Quite a few people, dependent on what Andy said about the what's the biggest print you'll be fusing and what garments you're fusing onto. Quite a few people come and say, oh, well, we think we're going to be doing this, or I think I'm just going to stick to this. And we go, oh, actually, would it be worth you sizing up to a 40 by 40 or a 40 by 50? Because if your business grows and you then need to go from printing initials to full front or full back prints, and your heat press isn't then big enough for that, people often choose to go up, because you can change the size of the lower platens, but you can't ever change the size of the top one. So by going slightly bigger, you can always swap out the lower one for that initial print like it was before. But that's something, especially in the one-to-ones that we've been doing, people sort of come in and go, I think I might get the 28 by 38 or something a bit smaller. And then, but when they actually think about it, they go, oh no, actually I will go a size up just in case it just gives you the option to be able to do the larger print, or, you know, if someone comes to you that isn't necessarily your niche, but they want a print job, and it just gives you the flexibility to do that range of products and grow the business further without thinking, oh, I need another press, and having to spend out again in 6 months or a year's time for another press when the one that you bought 6 months ago still works fine. It's just that bit too small.
Yeah, and something that's worth mentioning as well with the heat press is something that our customers find useful, it's on every heat press page of the website, is that we do price breakdown, which basically means kind of try and work out how long it takes to pay your heat press back. So obviously you want to pay that off and then increase the profit margin every single order. So the pricing that's based on is so we have the price of a transfer, but the blank garment that we put into that price calculation is taken from the Ralawise website. When I've got an average price kind of, and it's somewhere in the middle between entry level and ultra premium styles, to find that kind of rough t-shirt price. So if you want to then work out that calculation in very detailed, you can take the price of the press and then you can go and the transfer from our site, and then go on to the Ralawise site to find an example that's specific to you. They say, for instance, that's on t-shirts, but if you're just going to do hoodies, work out a calculation based on hoodies, but you'll be able to find the pricing very easily that way.
Yeah, and it's not as much as you think either. I was quite surprised when we did them at how many, I think one of them is 10 or 12 t-shirts per month to pay off a press in a year, and that's one of the mid-range presses. And you just think, if you have a business that you're printing, you'll probably do that in a day, let alone 12 in a month, So it's really not, when you break down the profits of it, it's really not that not as much as I think what some new business starters would think as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the easier options to get into, isn't it? Having a heat press and doing it that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Just picking up on, I was just going to pick up on Molly's point about the size of the heat press. People with the t-shirt, you've obviously got a clear canvas, but we do hoodies as well that have a complete smooth front as well, so the pockets are at the side or there's no pocket. So even if someone says, I want to print a really big design, I've got all the equipment, I've got the transfer, talk to us about the right garment, because we'll normally be able to say, well, actually, if you want a hoodie and it's a nice big piece of artwork, try these 4. So again, that's a whole nother podcast, but just got my mind there, Molly. Can I ask one question as well before we go?
As many as you like, yeah.
Cool. What we tend to find as people get stuck into our industry and they get going, they'll start to decorate t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff, and that all becomes kind of a nice safe comfort zone space. And then one of their customers will say, oh, I want a really good waterproof jacket and I want my logo heat sealing on it. Or someone will say, I want to get a load of leggings from my brand, my athleisure brand. Can you print on something, but I want it to stretch a bit without the. So in terms of those, I wouldn't say specialist products, but those specific needs, do you offer products that cater to the individual characteristics of some of those niche products, or do you offer a how-to guide and that sort of thing as well?
Yes, good question. So we can print on pretty much anything when it comes down to it, apart from if the garment can take heat, then we can find a way to work around it, basically. So something like leggings is actually really easy. It's something that people look at and get quite intimidated by, but really it's just a case of all you need to do is isolate the print areas. So leggings sometimes have quite a lot of piping on them or ridged edges. So all you need to do is, as Molly was talking about, is if you put a small lower batten on the bottom of your heat press, all the kind of areas of the legging that you don't want to put heat on or are going to get in the way just fall off the side of it, so they don't get anywhere near the heat press at that point. So that's really easy. For treated jackets, there's a couple aspects. One, we do a low temperature transfer, so 120. So a lot of the garments that people have problems with when they if anyone's seen that, what they call the press box or a bruise box, is when you put your t-shirt under or any kind of garment under a press, and
I think we've all done it a few times.
You've got a nice box and you look at it and you're like, well, I can't send that to a customer because it's no good. And it's normally down to too much pressure from the press, or you're using a transfer vinyl that just needs to be applied at too high a heat, because it might be, say, it's at 160, but 130-ish is kind of that point where stuff starts to get a bit angry or starts to get a bit temperamental. So that's one of the things that's really key to us when we put ultra color out, is actually we can do it at 120, which is below that kind of chemical reaction that a lot of treated products have. And again, you can isolate the area of treated products very easily, either with a lower pattern or a lot of the kind of sort of mid and higher range treated products often have secret layers in them. So that you'll find it, you might never notice it, but there's a zip somewhere near the left chest. that you can zip and then kind of hook it over onto a smaller pattern as well, which makes it really easy. So you're only printing on that area where the transfer is going to go. So that is one way of doing it. But we have all our transfer products come with stretcher standard. So it means if you're working on something different like the leggings or even the treated stuff, or anything that's going to have a hard life, we put a special element into our transfers that everyone gets. So it means that they can stretch and rebound. So it means that as that jacket moves or the leggings move, it goes back to what it's not supposed to be. So it's not going to look cracked or look burnt once it's actually been applied. So there's lots and lots of ways around it. The main thing is just to try and break it. So when I say you're thinking about leggings, is actually really easy, but the jackets is a case of actually buy a couple of jackets, and they tend to be big anyway, and just buy loads of transfers and just fuse on every single corner of it until you find a combination of cover sheet, or we have things which call grip flex, which is a Teflon sheet which you can fit in the middle as well. But much like yourselves, if you get to the point where you're like, I'm stuck, how do I do this? Just give us a call, send us a message, DM us on Facebook or Instagram, because we have people in this building that have been here since the doors opened 40 odd years ago. So we've tried to fuse on just about any material, you name it, we've tried it. So we can find it. There's always a solution as long as the material can take heat.
Cool, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there. So thank you to everyone that's listened along today. We hope this was useful to us. As I mentioned before, get in touch with either of us if you have questions. We'll do some live events in the future as well, so they'll either be online or in person, so you can come along and get detailed answers as well. But thank you very much for everyone that's joined us today. Don't forget to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, give us a like, turn those notifications on. So anything you need for blanks, talk to Ralawise. Anything you need to decorate those garments, come and join us at targettransfers.com. I'll be more than happy to help.
And if you want to head over to Ralawise, we'll put all of their links in the description, so you can just go on and head over there.
Okay, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Speak soon.
Good to see you. Bye.
Bye.